So something pretty crazy happened in the Deadlock community last night that is now forcing the developers to make a significant change to one of Deadlock's most important objectives, and that is the Spirit Urn. There was a patch on May 22nd that changed a lot of things with the Spirit Urn. Things like the pickup points, the drop-off points, and the specific timers surrounding the urn. But there was one specific change that had the community in uproar the entire week. So much so that it had Deadlock pros speaking out on social media, calling this the worst Deadlock mechanic of all time. If you want to stay up to date with all the Deadlock news and updates, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of it. If you keep up to date with Deadlock news on Twitter, then you may have already seen this news, but the incident happened last night during Deadlock Night Shift number 40 of Melee Creeps versus Floormen. If you're unfamiliar with Night Shift, it's a weekly tournament run by the community, and some of your favorite Deadlock creators are probably playing in this tournament. Creators like Ido and Zergy compete in this tournament weekly. There are lots of clips going around socials showcasing what happened, and I will include all of those in this video. But for context, this drama all starts with one specific change that happened to the Spirit Urn last week. On May 22nd was the original change to the urn. If the urn is favored or unfavored in a comeback state, then the favored team will get 50% bullet and spirit resist in a 60-meter radius around the urn while it is being carried, dropped, or deposited. The total resistance was later lowered to 35%, but the issue still remained the same. Your entire team would receive this bullet and spirit resistance if you were within 60 meters of the urn, not only just being deposited, but also being carried. There was a ton of conversation this past week on Twitter about how this change affects the state of the game. But last night, during Deadlock Night Shift number 40, Team Melee Creeps wanted to send a message to the developers that this needs to be changed. I'll play some clips of exactly what happened and the reaction from the commentators, and I'll fill you in with more context after.
That can snowball the Guardians.
Also, wait, what do you mean six?
Wait,
hit tab?
6?
Okay, can we hit tab? Like, what's going on here? Is this secret tech? Quote, this just gotta be a J. Oh my.
Oh.
What? That is excellent play, and I have no. Yep, I did it. It was for the moment.
So the update from Kaita DL in the chat is they're playing for the 15-minute comeback urn. You pop the eggs after you grab the urn. You're equal on souls, and you have that 35% resist. That is the mental thought process through this.
Yeah, which is why League just went into. Wait, is this back and forth tactical feed? What in God's name is going on?
Tactical feeding. No. I've seen it all. I've seen it all, ZP. Look, it's working. We've got their data.
Dan, I just had a horrific thought.
Okay, tell me. Give it to me.
Urn doesn't reset if it's being held.
Okay.
What if
35% resistance in base the entire game?
Oh, no.
Yes! What if the strategy here is just to use the urn as a permanent buff for the rest of the game?
I didn't want to give the players the idea, ZP, but I think we're catching on.
But doesn't it just hurt you at a certain point, and then
it hurts
not with the updates, though, right?
Like Ranger is just going to be like this permanent resistance buff.
Oh, so like if you're a comeback team, it's easier for you to hold the urn because it's closer to your base. So they can hold it at this mid walker forever, then drop it and just walk 5 seconds away to your pickup. You can just hold it forever. That'd be ethics. Wait, they're ready to go mid. They did half of it. Chat, they did half of it. They did half of it while holding the urn. We're in a true hostage situation. They have the buff, by the way. They can't fight them on this buff. It's impossible to fight them on this buff. Yeah, they can hold it forever to do mid. But chat, are they gonna do mid with this? They can do mid right now with this. This could be the mid boss call. Yep. And this is why they pick Dynamo. Because now you can force mid. And now it gets freaky. It gets real freaky. Dynamo's holding the urn. Dynamo's taking no damage to the urn, by the way. Yo, Dynamo's taking no damage to the urn, by the way. They dropped it 5 times. He's taking no damage. And they get mid. Yep. Fire. Oh, they're using the urn to seize this mid walker, by the way. So they have heroic aura on the entire team. 59 res Venerator. Yo, wait till my webcam for this. This Venerator has 50 res right now. Dama has 46 res. Yeah. Lash has 46. Vormay can't do anything. They can't. The Rust just has infinite buffs. They have literally giga buffs.
Okay, Floorman FF. Given the circumstances, we will accept the FF in this instance. Well, okay,
and we will hand out a ban, and we go to a sudden death game 3 as everyone goes to bed by 11 p.m. Eastern.
So yeah, this is an interesting case, I gotta say. So Melee creeps up 1-0 by the book, but I am instructing the teams, while no rules were broken, we are officially outlawing that strategy into the next game. Because
if you're still confused about what exactly just happened, Melee Creeps figured out that they could abuse the spirit and bullet resistance that you gain when carrying the urn for the entire game. Forcing your team into a comeback state will spawn the urn on your side of the map. And as long as your team is within 60 meters of the urn carrier, you will all receive the spirit and bullet resist buffs. And there's no limit to the amount of times you can drop and pick up the urn. As you saw in the first clip, every player on Melee Creeps purchased the golden egg. After picking up the urn in a comeback state, they would all consume the egg, gaining the soul difference back, meaning that they would all be even on souls, but continue to carry the urn and have it spawn on their side of the map. There was nothing that floormen could really even do to prevent this from happening. As you saw in the clips, once floormen realized what they were doing, they also decided to start feeding themselves into the objectives to try and keep the soul difference very similar so that the urn would not go into a comeback state. This unfortunately did not work, and Melee Creeps would go on the entire game with this 35% spirit and bullet resistance, and it allowed them to take control of the entire game. At the end, floormen decided it wasn't worth the effort and they decided to forfeit the game. Of course, like any other thing, there was a lot of drama on social media after this happened. Floormen put out a statement on Twitter after the games saying that they chose to forfeit after Melee Creeps used a game-breaking strategy involving the comeback urn that the devs likely did not foresee would be possible. Melee Creeps said that they did this to ensure it gets patched out for the larger tournament, but with that being said, at the end of the day, we are all members of the same small community that is competitive Deadlock, and some prior communication in regard to the fact that they are going to be executing this would have been appreciated. To all the viewers and supporters who were expecting a full series, we apologize for the forfeit, and understand that it can be frustrating to see this happen. And some of the players from both teams decided to speak about what happened. Ido from Melee Creeps explained his side of the story and why the game is broken.
This is not an opinion. This is just a fact. This game is broken competitively. It does not work, and it hasn't worked for the last week.
Melee Creeps also further iterated that they didn't do this just to win the game and for the money, but they did this to show the devs that this mechanic is truly broken and shouldn't be in the game. Average from Floormen spoke out and gave his opinion on how this should have been handled.
My only issue with all of it is that if they wanted to get it patched, if they wanted to use the game as a statement, which is what they're claiming, what they should have done is they should have just told the TOs in advance, and they didn't even have to tell us, but if they just told ZP in advance, when I pause the game there and I DM ZP, I'm like, yo, man, what's the word on what's going on here? He would give me a clear-cut response that would actually indicate what the next move is, but he didn't actually have a clear response for me. They hadn't ruled on it yet, and eventually once they ruled, the ruling was that it's banned, but we have to continue from 0-1, which, I mean, to me that doesn't really make any sense, right? Because if the strategy is banned, then obviously it just shouldn't be something that could have been used in the first place. But regardless, I don't really have an issue with the win or loss.
So as you heard Average say, the tournament then banned this strategy for the rest of the games, but it was just too late for the floormen as they were down 0-1, as that game would end up counting. Pro players and streamers would then take to social media overnight and in the morning today, begging for the devs to fix this mechanic. And just earlier today, as I was making this video, Yoshi put out a new patch fixing this. Going forward, the urn will no longer provide the 35% bullet and spirit resist for the behind team when it is being carried or dropped. This aura is now only active when it is being deposited. Hopefully there's no other problems that come up with this urn situation as the developers continue to iterate Deadlock. But let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below, and let me know if you watched this happen live last night on the night shift. As I say at the end of all of my videos, Deadlock is just going to continue to grow in 2026, and if you want to stay up to date with all the Deadlock news, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of it. I'm on the road to 10,000 subscribers, and I'd appreciate all your help in getting there. As always, I'll catch you in the next video. Later.